Hey Greg, let's talk bourbon. All right, about 2 weeks ago, I did a bottle opening video where I opened up 3 new bottles of double oak products because I was getting ready to do a double oak blind because I wanted to see how Disco 13, which is double oaked, I wanted to see how well that would do in a blind of double oak products. Well, 2 of them were indeed double oak products. One of them, however, was this Walleye Run Double Barrel, which I assume, being that it's double barrel, that it's double oaked, right? Well, if you watch that video, you know that I was saying, oh my goodness, this doesn't taste double oaked to me. And in fact, it tastes toasted. And it was after that video that I looked more closely at this label. And while it says double barrel, it then says, 7 years, aged 7 years in char 3 barrels and finished in toasted oak barrels. So that would explain why it does not taste like a double oak product at all. It tastes like a toasted product. So I figured, well, it's really good. I want to see exactly how good it is. So let's do a toasted blind. So that's what we're doing today here. I pulled out some bottles that some of them have been in other blinds and some have not. But I got out here some toasted bottles. Now, there's another new bottle in the lineup here. And that is this J. Mattingly Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans. So I opened this bottle up too. This was also in the basement, sitting there unopened. I opened it up as well, thinking, it says that it was finished in oak staves. So I'm like, well, okay, does that mean it's double oaked? I can't remember. I tried it at the distillery. I can't remember if it's double oaked or not. So I opened it up, and it doesn't taste double oaked. In fact, it tastes toasted. So I even called the distillery. I've talked to them yesterday. I talked to them again this morning because I have more questions. What's really nice about J. Mattingly is they're a small operation. I was talking to one of the guys that helps out with figuring out whether or not a barrel is ready to go and ready to be put in the blend. So that's how they are. That's how they roll. They're kind of a small operation. Got lots of great information from them about this bottle. And one of the things about it that's really interesting is that while this is MGP and it is a mash bill of 99% corn and 1% malted barley, you say, well, okay, so it's a corn whiskey. All right. Well, sure, that's what it is, but then they finish it themselves and because it arrives in a toasted new oak barrel aged 4 years from MGP, right? So they take that and they age it and they make their own bottles, or barrels, I should say, for finishing. They take used barrels and they take them apart and they refurbish the staves, right? They sand them down or whatever, and they retoast them or char them. And basically they make 4 different kind of staves. They do a light char, they do a medium char, they do a heavy char, and they do a toasted. And so for this particular product, I learned by calling them, actually they used all 4. So the barrel for finishing was a quarter of the staves were light char, quarter were medium, quarter were heavy, and a quarter were toasted, which is why it really has that toasted flavor to it. So I thought, okay, once I confirmed that, I'm like, yes, I'm going to put this in this blind because the bottle itself doesn't say anything about it being toasted. I guess you had to talk to somebody down at the distillery to figure that out. But my taste buds told me that it's got toasted notes in it. So I wanted to add it into this mix. Other bottles here that are worthy to mention, the Peerless. We got the Peerless Toasted. This is a small batch of it. I don't have a single barrel of it. I wish I did. This one happens to be batch 3. Now, one of the things about this toasted barrel is that it actually won the 2024 Ascot Awards for Best Bourbon. Now, I will tell you that it does have a really, really good nose. But But I also will tell you that the on the palate, it doesn't quite live up to its nose. But I think that when you got all these people testing, dozens and dozens of different bourbons, they probably rely most heavily on the nose, and it does have a really good nose. So I think that's what it was about. Besides, I don't know what batch it was that particular bottle was from. Probably batch 1. This is batch 3. I don't know if that makes a difference. But I don't think that this necessarily deserved, at least this particular bottle that I've got here, didn't deserve winning the Ascot Awards for Best Bourbon. It's good, but it's not that good. In fact, I don't think it'll win this blind. It didn't win a previous blind that was toasted products. In fact, another bottle I should mention here is the Penelope. Now, this is Penelope toasted, but this isn't your regular Penelope toasted. This is cast strength, single barrel, store pick. So this is a higher level of toasted, and it's really tasty. This is my current champion of toasted blinds. So last time I did a toasted blind, this is the bottle that won. So something to note. And then we have here a couple of Maker's Marks bottles. This is the 2024 here is the Heart Release, and the 2025 is the, I got to look at it, the Keeper's Release. So the Heart Release is basically, if you're not that familiar with it, the Heart Release is basically a toasted version of 46. And the Keeper's Release is basically a toasted version of their regular bourbon. This one is toasted French oak staves. This one is toasted American oak staves. So they're both really tasty. I will say, though, that they are a little on the mellow side, and which makes for great drinking, but mellow doesn't always go well in a blind. So we'll see how it goes. I don't believe I've had them in blinds before. All right, the last bottle here is one that you probably are very familiar with here, the Elijah Craig Toasted Bourbon. It is only 94 proof, whereas everything else here, I believe, is at or near cast strength. So it is going to be it is only a $60 bottle, which makes it the cheapest bottle. It is also only 94 proof, so makes it the lowest proof bottle. We'll see if that affects how it comes in. Price-wise, I do have them organized in price. This was $60. This Peerless store pick was $65. Maker's Mark releases here, these were $78 a piece. The Walleye Run Double Barrel is $80. The Peerless Toasted, it was about $110. And the J. Mattingly Welcome Home Veterans was $130. Now, what do I think is going to happen here? Well, like I kind of alluded to, while these are really nice, easy drinkers, I think they're going to get overwhelmed here by bigger, bolder flavors in some of these other bottles. So my expectation is unfortunately, I think these two might be near the bottom. The next kind of row I see here is, I think, the Elijah Craig and the Peerless are probably going to fight it out for those next two spots. And then I anticipate that the Penelope was my former winner, right? But I don't think it's quite as good as these two new bottles I've got here. So I think it's probably going to finish probably in third. I think these two are new bottles here. They're in the blind here. I think they're going to fight it out for first. I do think the J. Mattingly's better, but we'll find out. We're going to put it. That's why we do these blinds. And of course, sometimes, my palate changes from day to day. So just because it's a winner one day doesn't mean it's the winner the next, if it's close, right? But if it's not close, then that never happens. So here we go. We're going to go 7 wide blind, toasted barrels. One other little interesting thing to recognize here is that they are all bourbons except for the Walleye Run. The Walleye Run is a rye. So here we go. I numbered the bottles 1 through 7. They correspond to glasses I've got here that already have the numbers on underneath. And the glasses are already been poured, half hour ago or so. And the glasses are already all mixed up. Oops. I will refer to these glasses as A to G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, correct? A to G. And, well, there we go. Let's get started, shall we? Get to the good stuff. Glass A. And already, boom, toasted notes, right? I mean, this one, it comes through pretty strongly. I get that marshmallow and I get maltiness right away. There's also a little caramel there. Voice is cracking. Well, gonna need to start drinking soon, I guess. Maybe a little bit of spice, maybe even a little cinnamon there. But it's definitely malty as well. Nice nose. All right, glass B. This is very different. I suspect that I might know what this nose is. Because I think I'm getting a little bit of tobacco. I think that's why this is different. I can't confirm it yet. I need to really confirm on the palate, but I think that's what I'm smelling. There is some of that malty marshmallow as well. Yeah. Yeah, I would say that's tobacco. And then there's a sweetness there. I almost get banana bread. I know, it's weird. And that sweetness, is somewhere between granular sugar and frosting. Somewhere in that range. All right. Glass C. Wow. All right. Unfortunately, I already know which glass this is because it's a very distinctive nose. Sugar, sugar, sugar. Smells like I just walked into a confectionery. It's got confectionery sugar, vanilla, almost like candy. Under it, it's got a little bit of that little maltiness to it, breadiness to it. Yeah, kind of bready. Maybe a touch of the marshmallow, but not a lot. All right, glass D. What is this? Wow, this is different. This is darker. Checking out my bottles here, going like, what would produce this? Nice nose. It's caramel and spicy and a little oak to it. There's a little bit more to it than that, but I'm not exactly sure. It's fruity. That's what's going on. That's what I'm missing here. It's a darker fruit. This is a darker glass. Kind of headed down that either heavy char or that dark oak or that double oak kind of a notion to it. But the fruit in it is like a melon, right? It's not the high fruits, it's not the low fruits, but it's kind of headed down that direction. Yeah. It's good. It's good. Glass E. This smells more like a standard bourbon to me. At least compared to the last one, which was darker. It's fruity. It's sweet. I don't get a heavy sense of toasted or oak. Citrusy? Orange? Or peach? Or lemon? I'm not sure. It's a little different than the others. Does that make it a rye? Not sure. Not sure about that. Could easily also be a bourbon. I didn't have an overwhelming sense of lemongrass. So, I don't know. But I did get a touch of lemon. So, anyway. Glass F. Well, there's the marshmallowy note. It's got something else going on. It's also a little softer on the nose. In fact, the whole thing about this just kind of comes across as a very soft bourbon. It's a little caramel. Not much sweet above that. It's caramel is about as sweet as it gets. And it's like I think I said it was fruity, right? Cherry and melon, maybe. There might be something else going on in that glass too that I can't quite put a finger on. All right, glass G. This one kind of comes across. Either this is just a really strong sense of toasted, or I've got some French oak in this. Could be either at this point. I'd have to check on the palate. But it's nice and pleasant. Again, it's a little... The nose isn't quite as strong, but it's good nose. It's also, besides having that little bit of marshmallowiness to it, and maybe some French oak, I don't know what flavor that would be. There is also a sense of fruitiness. There's also a sense of maybe some cinnamon. Fruitiness, again, is somewhere in the stone fruit range, right? Like a peach or a... Let's call it peach. I don't know. Does that make it the heart release? I don't know. I might be wrong about the French oak. This is only on the nose, right? So let's do something with that, right? Let's get into the palate. Glass A. Ooh, this is really tasty. Malty. Lemony. Did I just find my rye? I don't know. And then that sugar, sweetness. I mean, it's like definitely granular sugar, but also maybe a touch of the confectionery to it. It's very tasty. It's got good strength to it. That's really good. I want to keep drinking it. All right. Whether that's a rye or not, that was good. Glass B. Still, just because I got a good amount of lemon in there, I'm not ready to pronounce that the rye. It was definitely a bourbon. Tasty. Really nice toasted bourbon. It's exactly what it tastes like. It tastes like a toasted bourbon. It's just right down the middle. A little bit of caramel, a little bit of spice, a little bit of cinnamon. There's a little sense of fruitiness in there that I'm not quite exactly sure about. It's not terribly sweet, but it's sweeter. And the fruit, I don't know. At times I was thinking maybe it's a pear. At times I was thinking maybe it's more like a peach. Maybe it's somewhere in that range. One of the crazy things I get sometimes in toasted products is sometimes I get a little bit of banana, which I think is a weird thing. So while I get the toasted, I get the marshmallowiness, I just got a little tinge, a little touch of banana in that one, which I think is weird. All right. Glass C. Oh, heavenly. Oh my God. Best nose. Right here. Whew. That's so good. Tons of confectionery sugar, taffy, yeah, strong sense of taffy, marshmallow, little oakiness to it. It's really, really tasty. Really tasty. And I'll tell you right now, it's unmistakable. That's the J. Mattingly. Glass D. If I remember, this was the darker one. It smells darker. Oh yeah. Fruit forward. Melons and plums. With caramel and do I get a little nuttiness? I think I get a little nuttiness in this one. Does it get into hazelnut? Yeah, maybe. Maybe a little hazelnut in this. spice. Not too sweet. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's the most fruit forward of any of these glasses so far. All right, glass E. Is this the one I thought I smelled tobacco? I don't know. Maybe it was one of the other ones. Maybe I lost track. We'll say that I don't think I've tasted or noticed that I was tasting tobacco yet. Yeah, maybe it is in this glass. Because this does have a different flavor than the others. But if it is the Elijah Craig, if, because I'm not convinced yet. If, then what I would say about it is that tobaccoiness that I generally get out of Elijah Craig is muted in this glass. And most likely, if that's the case, then it would be being muted by having been toasted. But I'm not fully convinced that that's what this is. Nice legs, though. It's tasty. It's something along those lines. It's a little different. And there is some sweetness in there that kind of has that vanilla taffy kind of taste to it a little bit. I don't know. I'm suspecting the Elijah Craig just because it has that different, odd kind of note to it, but I'm not totally convinced. Not totally convinced. It might be something else throwing me off here. This one smells nice. It's a little bit lighter. Yeah, on the palate, it's a little bit lighter too. Definitely toasted. Definitely a bourbon. Caramel, spice, a little of that marshmallow. A little malty. Yeah, I wouldn't go into graham cracker. I would leave it in the malty range. It's good. It's a sense of fruit, but not. It's definitely not fruit forward. This is just sort of a malty caramel marshmallow forward. If that makes any sense. And glass G, sorry. Smells nice. I mean, it's definitely got vanilla. I'm trying to just not just simply pronounce this the French oak, but that's really what I'm kind of getting here. tasty. Real breadiness to it. A little bit of spice. Yeah, it's good. Now, I don't know if it's because of the order, but the last two, in fact, the last three, are kind of on my least enjoyed through the first round. Now, is that because they were the last three? Or are they, do I have three glasses here at the end that do belong in the bottom? I don't know. So, I gotta get a piece of cheese and reset the palate here. I'm going to come at it this way and see if the direction of drinking makes the difference. Yeah, Glace is definitely got to be the Walleye Run. I mean, it's distinctive, it's very malty, and it's a rye. Sorry, I hate to do that, but I mean, I already know, so I might as well say it. Yeah, you know what? I think these four here need closer looking at. Because it's time to eliminate somebody. And these four, I thought these three here are great. So maybe B just got caught up with the other two. I don't know. We'll see. That being said, all of these are very enjoyable. They're all good pours. And I'm increasingly believing that that E is indeed the Elijah Craig. This is really hard. I think these four glasses, they're all different, but they're very much on par with each other. It's really, it's going to really come down to just how I feel at the moment, because I just, as far as the whiskey goes, these are all good. They're all about the same level. You can almost just do a pick 'em here. I think these three are better. All right, different order. That dark one is different, and I miss the sweetness. I do, but it's really tasty. There's a lot. There's good It's a well put together bourbon. It is. It's just missing that sweetness I like. See, I really liked that one, F, before, and now that it was just the last glass, I didn't like it nearly as much. I'm having a hard time here. There's no clear loser amongst these four. So when I drink it first, it's a pretty nice drink. That's nice. It's a little soft and all, but and this one here, the one I think maybe is French oak, I'm not sure. It's actually not doing it for me. I've been noticing the last couple times around here. Oops, I'm dribbling on myself. Yeah. I gotta do it. I'm going Glass G, out in 7th place. Even though I think that might be the heart release. And normally I really like French oak. And like I said, I'm not 100% convinced that that's the French oak. But I don't taste anything else in any of these other glasses that makes me think that they're French oak. So, but there's something about it. That Glass G it's just falling behind these other three glasses. It's all I can really say about it. And somebody's got to lose, right? That is really good. That B, that's good. D is pretty good. Not as good as B, but it's good. All right. It's going to be between these two. Yeah. I think these two is where it's going to be. I think Glass D is just slightly better. I think I might know which way I have to go here. Going out in 6th place, Glass F. Going to compare these three. This Glass A. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Honey. Citrusy. Malty. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. You know, I'll tell that story later. Sorry. I think that's after we've established who won and who lost. Oh my God, this Glass C is unreal. I could smell this all day. Duct tapeable. Just take the empty glass and duct tape it to your face and just smell it all day. I probably shouldn't have drank that. It's so good. All right, piece of cheese, reset the palate. I think I've confirmed that it's between these three glasses. Because these two are amazing. All right. I'm going to go this way. Glass B. By the way, I'm now getting grape on the nose here. Like big time. Like a green grape. You know, there's a little something else different about this as well. If the Elijah Craig is not E, then I would say it's B. I don't really smell tobacco, though. But the palate has some interesting things going on. I think it's more of a maltiness, though. It's just really... I think it's just really malty, bready. It's good. It's good. This is nice. And this Glass E has been getting sweeter this whole time, right? As it continues to open. I mean, it's, I don't know, 50 minutes into it now? That since I poured this, maybe more. I think these glasses are fully open at this point. This is my dark one. Makes me think it's peerless. I don't know, I might be wrong. I'm just going by the fact that it's darker. I could easily be wrong on that. It's tasty, though. It's just missing those high notes that I'm looking for. It's a well put together glass. Although, but then so is E, and so is B. All right, going out in, what would that be? 5th place is Glass D. It's the darker one. It's good. I could tell it's well put together. It's just not doing it for me in this competition. And yes, it has something to do with the fact that it's the darkest one up here. There's something about a bourbon or a rye having that level of sweetness to help it just kind of shine through, you know? And that one just doesn't have it. So, there we go. Down to 4. I still think it's between these two here. I still think I get tobacco on the nose there. Banana bread with a little other fruit on there. With a little stone fruit, you know? That's tasty. That's really tasty. Okay, the nose makes me think I should put it in with these two. But the palate on this Glass A, so good. And it's powerful. And it's, yeah. I'm sorry, A does not belong in that group. I want to put it up there just because, but it needs to stay back here. There's a clear difference. Yeah, that's really good. I mean, borderline phenomenal. All right. So, again, I have confirmed that it's these front two and the back two are just at a higher plane. But they just are. So these two are amazing. And then there's these other 5. And of them, I do think it's probably going to be the B that's the best of them. But I'm going to take one more shot at it here. Yeah. Going out in 4th place is Glass E. And going out in 3rd place is Glass B. All right. It's time for some cheese. I believe that I have come down to exactly what I said in my prediction. That Walleye Run and Jay Manley Welcome Home would end up fighting it out for first place. And they're very strong flavored, very distinctive. They're both toasted, which is why they're here. And they both have those toasted notes going on in them, both on the nose and on the palate. But they are something. Now, I will say that the Walleye Run is an $80 bottle. This double barrel. Whereas the J. Manley is a $130 bottle. Now, the J. Manley is known to me as being, it's quickly becoming one of my absolute favorite distilleries. I know. Most of you out there are saying, who the frick is J. Manley, right? Little distillery across the street from Buffalo Trace. Like as you're leaving, go while you're there, you're in Frankfurt for the day. Go ahead and go to Buffalo Trace in the morning. Stand in line, get your, allocated bourbon for the day, right? But when you leave, as you're going out the exit, which is what, the east driveway? Instead of turning left or right onto the highway, Instead, just go straight across that intersection. On the south side of the road there is an industrial park. And one of those little buildings on the right-hand side in this industrial park is J. Mattingly. Go in there and do a flight. You'll thank me later. Phenomenal. Yeah, see, I went this way, and this is a really good nose. Class A. But when you put it up against Class C, it falters. It does. I mean, that on the palate there. Oh my God, that's good. The honey, lemongrass, citrus, maltiness, tons of maltiness. So when they call it malted rye, I don't know the exact mash bill of this bottle. I don't. I tried to look it up, and maybe I should have looked harder. I don't know. But I do know that it is reported as being at least 51% malted rye. Is it 100% malted rye? I don't know. But the bottom line is that there's no malted barley in it. They malted the rye, and it's malted rye. Which is why, of course, that's exactly what it's called. It's called malted rye, right? And this one's double barrel. And by double barreling it, they toasted it, right? It was a toasted barrel. Really good. Really good. I gotta go. If I'm going based on nose, it's Glass C. Glass B would have kicked, it did kick these 5 glasses, right? I mean, just Glass A here is so much better than these 5 glasses. There's just no question. But when you throw in this Glass C, the Glass C definitely has the better nose. Glass C is, if heaven has a fragrance, this is it. Oh my God. So good. Anyway. But it's all about the palate, right? And like I said, this Glass A, it's actually better on the palate than it is on the nose. And it's got a really great nose. So good. I've been postponing doing Glass C on the palate. Because I knew this was going to happen. Not only is this glass phenomenal on the nose, it's phenomenal on the palate. There isn't any other way to go. Out in second place is Glass A, and our winner is Glass C. It's not even close. I'd like it to be close. I'd like there to be drama. There's no drama here. So in my opinion, we have 4 glasses that were all pretty much on par with each other, and I probably could have put them in any order. And then Glass B was better than those 4 glasses, but not by a lot, but it was better than them. But Glass B could not come close to the last 2 glasses. There was a big gap between Glass B, the 3rd place winner, and these top 2 glasses. But amongst these last 2 glasses, that really wasn't that close either. Because this Glass C is just phenomenal. Even though Glass A is like really, really, really good. But I got to call them as I see them, right? So that's how I see it. So let's figure out what I did here. All right. So in 7th place was glass G. This is the glass that I thought maybe, wasn't convinced, but I thought maybe it had French oak, which would say it's the heart release, right? Glass number 3. It's the heart release. So I indeed picked out the French oak. Now, I really like this one. I like 46 better than I do Maker's Mark's regular bourbon. But you know what? Today, it just wasn't keeping up. It wasn't keeping up. What can I say? In 6th place, I don't have a guess at this glass, but in 6th place, we have number 4. Oh, well, that's the other Maker's Mark. Well, there you go. Keeper's release. So, I kind of thought that. I kind of thought that, unfortunately, that these Maker's Mark releases here, they're tasty. They're good. They're really enjoyable. Nice pour to have while you're watching TV. But they're a little softer and a little muted, and that doesn't play well in a blind. So there's that. It's exactly what I thought would happen. In 5th place was glass D. Number 6. Yeah, okay, I said I thought it was the darker one. I kind of thought that might make it peerless. It was indeed peerless. So this was your 2024 Ascot Awards first place for best bourbon. It does have a really good nose. It is a really well put together glass. It is. The only thing I can think of, like I said before, is that I think when these judges are evaluating dozens and dozens of glasses of bourbon, I think they barely taste it, right? Because they don't want to get smashed. So, and as a result, they rely more heavily on the nose. And this Peerless Toasted does indeed have a good nose. It does. It's a really good nose. It's just I don't think the palate lives up to that nose fully. It just doesn't quite keep up with the nose. Then it's got a great nose, and I think that's why it won. And I think that says something about, you'll see this in advertising all the time. You'll see these little clips. Hey, this bottle just won this award. What does that mean? Well, I think what I'm learning is that means that it's got a good nose. It doesn't necessarily mean it's got some amazing palate. It means it's got a good nose, because that's what they're evaluating on. All right, which just makes sense because they don't want to get drunk, right? Evaluating all these glasses. So, in what are we at now? 4th place, glass E. Number 1. I was right again. Wow, I actually am getting good at this or something. Elijah Craig. So regular Elijah Craig to me comes much more forward with that tobacco, and then it even gets into like a leathery and earthy kind of notes, right? Here it's kind of muted with the toasting. So I still get some of that tobacco. I don't get any leather. Okay, maybe there's a little leather. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe there's a little leather. It is really nice. I know a lot of people give this Elijah Craig Toasted a hard time. I guess because they really like Elijah Craig, and the toasting Elijah Craig kind of mutes what makes Elijah Craig great. Right? I think that's why people hate on it. That being said, if you're talking toasted products, it's actually quite good. It beat these bottles. It's actually quite good. But if you're looking for, that Elijah Craig flavor, well, then stay away from it, right? Because the toasting kind of mutes that flavor. All right, on we go. God, I think I just totally called this thing, didn't I? All right, Glass B in third place. It is number 2, Penelope. Yeah, Penelope. And it's not the regular Penelope Toasted. This is, of course, like I said before, it's a store pick, cast strength, single barrel. It's clearly better than these 4. It beat them before. I don't know. I can't remember if these 2 were in that blind or not. But I know it beat these 2 before. It's just really good. And what I said in that previous blind, I don't know, 8-10 months ago, whatever it was, maybe 12 months ago, I don't remember how long it was. What I said back then is that this was my best representation of what a toasted product should be. And it is. It's like right down the middle. It's like, boom. It's like straight up, like it's a bourbon, exactly the kind of bourbon you want. And it's got all the toasted notes that you want. It's just really, really nice example of what toasted should be. A toasted bourbon. Oh, yeah, that's good. That's really good. It's amazing to me that as great as this bottle is, it's so good, that I've got here 2 bottles that are heads and tails way above this bottle. Mind-blowing. It really is. So I'm working my way towards producing a list of my best bottles. And I didn't think that this was going to rise to that level. I am starting to think about these 2. I wonder if these 2 do. All right. In second place, the one that I thought was the rye, number 5, indeed, Walleye Run. I mean, how can I be wrong? That nose is something. On the nose, it's very malty and very citrusy. And then on the palate, it adds in that really sweetness of honey and honeysuckle. And then you get the lemongrass in there. But it's very malty, which, it says malted rye. It's really good. Really good. The other thing about it is not only are the flavors great, but it's just got a strong nose. It's got a strong palate. It's for $80. It's phenomenal. It's great. It's hard to imagine that there's too many other bottles at $80 that are better than this. If you're talking the $80 range, get this. If $80 is like where you top out, where like I'll buy an $80 bottle, but I ain't going over 100, right? Well, then get this bottle because it's fantastic. That's so good. All right, but if you're willing to spend $130 and you're willing to probably have to go to the distillery to get it, my understanding is, after talking to them today, that this is still on the shelf. They still have this. Welcome home, Vietnam veterans. I don't know if you know much about Jay Mattingly, but they are very patriotic. They're very, they support the military. They support first responders. They're really into all of that. So this one here had to do was their salute to Vietnam vets. And so in first place, Class C, number 7, indeed, it's the Jay Mattingly. How could it not be? This is amazing nose and amazing palate. It's what is surprising to me is that in terms of just raw strength of nose and strength of palate, this actually matches up. None of these other bottles do, right? The only bottle here that can match the Jay Mattingly in terms of just really strong nose, really strong palate, is the Walleye Run. But when it comes down to the actual quality of the nose and the quality of the palate, well, yeah, the Jay Mattingly's better. I suspect that this Jay Mattingly is indeed in the top 5 or 6, 7 best bottles that I own. I think this one probably is going to be in there. In fact, I'm almost willing to say, and I'll prove it out through blinds, that I'm working towards here. I've got a few more to do, and then I'm going to start compiling. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if in the top 6 or 7 bottles that I own, that 3 of them could be from Jay Mattingly. They're that good. If you're not on to Jay Mattingly and you're willing to spend $130 for a really, really good pour, you got to get on this, man. You got to. But I would also say that I don't necessarily like everything that Jay Mattingly puts out. So that being said, I really encourage you to go to the distillery, do a flight, and pick out your favorites. That's the way to do it. I have seen a few bottles of Jay Mattingly around on, a few bourbon stores around here in the Milwaukee area. They're around. I've never bought one that way. Because like I said, I don't necessarily like everything they make. So, I want to try it first. But I have to say, it's worth doing. And I have that feeling about several distilleries, right? I feel that way with Peerless. I really like Peerless. I've got a bunch of their bottles. That being said, I don't necessarily like everything they do. Oh my God. They had this single barrel, was it a rye? I think it was a rye. That had jalapenos in it. It was extremely complicated. It had all these different flavors going on. It was complex. But that didn't mean I liked it. Sometimes these craft distilleries go astray, right? They get an idea, they go for it. Some people like it, some people don't. Same is true with Glens Creek, right? I don't know how many of you have been down there to Glens Creek. Make sure if you're going down that way because you want to go to Castle and Key and you want to go to Woodford, right? You definitely got to stop in there at the Old Crow Distillery, which is where Glens Creek is. And you got to stop in there. They make some really good stuff. Everybody knows OCD5. Cafe Olay is fantastic. But again, they also make a bunch of stuff that I don't necessarily like. So you have to go there, you have to try it out, and then buy what you like. And then stay away from what you don't. Right? That's just how it is with craft distilleries. So there it is. Here's my lineup. Again, I did a little tasting, not and just a little bit over the week leading up to this. But yeah, I did have a previous blind that had, well, for sure these three, and I think maybe it was these five in it. I kind of had a feeling how this would go, and I unfortunately I nailed it. I kind of like it. I actually prefer to be at least a little bit wrong, and have something surprising happen. But there you go. That's my blind. I hope you liked it. Peace out.